Starfleet Studios presents Star Trek Voyager, The Lost Episodes. Ghosts, Part 3, Integration. Doctor. Commander, I think I'm ready for you to try the phase emitter with our Vidiian prisoner. Chakotay. Very good. What do I need to do? Doctor. Just push this button and stay within 5 feet of it. It should allow the man to see and hear you, although your image might be somewhat distorted. Captain Vaea was keeping his eyes closed. For several minutes now, he had been having the hallucination that he was flying through space alongside his own ship, as if he was trapped in a bubble. He was doing his best not to cry out. Chakotay, are you the captain of the Targu? Then the voice started speaking to him. He shook it off as another hallucination. He wondered what drug he had consumed that would cause these disturbing circumstances. Chakotay, open your eyes. This is no dream. Slowly, starting with one eye, he pried open an eyelid and searched for the body to go with the voice. Several feet away among the stars, he could make out the vaporous outline of a humanoid. Chakotay, that's right. I'm here. My name is Chakotay. We want to know about your DNA technology. Vaea knew better than to talk to ghosts, but he replied anyway. We were successful in creating a gene therapy for the phage. Chakotay, stepping a little closer to Vaea. How many people are using the Klingon DNA to overcome the phage? Vaea closed his eyes again. Just a few. It takes some time. Chakotay, how is it applied? Vaea, injections. Several injections. I forget how many. Chakotay, how many Vidiians are going to be healed? Vaea, everyone with the phage. Chakotay, how long will it take? Vaea, a few years. Janeway. Captain's log. So much has changed in the last few days. I feel like I may have crossed the line. Captains who have made decisions based not on Starfleet protocol, but gut instinct. People like Captain Kirk. We do have moments of doubt, don't we? The Maquis crew members that had lost their ship are slowly integrating with Voyager. But now things have changed so completely, it feels like all of my convictions stand at a precipice, about to be thrown down. I know who I am, and who I am not. I'm not the only Captain Janeway. I am a duplicate. How can a duplicate captain hold her crew together? Things have to change. The crew needs to see progress. They have to have hope. It has been 5 days since the separation. We've salvaged supplies from a Vidiian vessel, stolen another, and we're headed down a road no Starfleet crew has ever been. After all, it was one thing to convince a crew to travel 70 years through space, and another to travel that far and arrive as an unwanted look-alike cousin. I suppose I could place the ship's crew in stasis, leaving the doctor to man the ship. If there was a problem, then the senior staff could be roused. But that would be like giving up as well. The ship could fly into a supernova, and that would end that. Janeway leans back in her chair when the door chimes. Come in. Tuvok and Chakotay enter the room. Gentlemen, Chakotay. Captain, we've been looking at the Vidiian fleet and how we are going to deal with it. Janeway. How many ships do they have? Tuvok. There are 40 Alpha-class starships like the Targu. There are 37 Beta-class ships and 14 Gamma-class ships. They all have substantial weapons, armor, and speed capabilities. Chakotay. Which ones require the least personnel? Tuvok. The Gamma-class ships have a crew complement of 18 to 30 crewmen. Janeway. And are they as powerful as the bigger ships? Tuvok. The bigger ships have larger cargo bays, more shuttles, and more torpedoes. The transporters are the same. Chakotay gestures to the display screen on the forward wall. Chakotay. We've located a Gamma-class ship in orbit around a Class Z planet within 3 light-years. It has not changed position for 2 days. There is a Vidiian station on the planet. Tuvok. Since Voyager's shuttles are still undetectable to the Vidiians, we could take enough crewmen to capture the ship and return it here. Chakotay. We could transport the Vidiians to the surface of the planet on a station. Janeway stands and walks around the room. She shakes her head, but smiles a thin smile. She walks back to the screen and looks at the green dot where the Vidiian ship is locked in orbit. Janeway. Chakotay, I'm placing you in command of the Targu. Chakotay and Tuvok glance at each other. Janeway. The Targu is as powerful a ship as Voyager. I'm assigning Ensign Vorik to you as your chief engineer. Please stand up, Commander. Chakotay rises. You too, Tuvok. Janeway reaches into her pocket and pulls out 2 rank buttons. Commander Chakotay, as captain of the Federation starship Voyager, I hereby promote you to captain of the USS Federation starship Targu. I realize this is not standard protocol, but we are a little shy of admirals right now. Chakotay looks a little surprised, then nods slowly. Mr. Tuvok, I am promoting you to commander and first officer on Voyager. Tuvok. Thank you, Captain. Janeway. Chakotay, I've left you with the problem you are going to have to solve. Which is? Who will be your first officer? Obviously, Tuvok is out. Chakotay. I see. I suppose that is a reasonable problem to have. I'll have to think about it. Janeway. Take your time. For now, Chakotay, you are needed on the Targu. Tuvok, assemble a team to go get that Gamma-class ship. And one other thing. Does this smaller ship have a name? Tuvok. They call it the Chesapeake. Janeway. Chakotay, tractor Voyager within a light year of the Chesapeake in case we need to get there quickly. Oh, and I still want Mr. Paris back on Voyager when repairs are made. Chakotay. Of course. Suddenly, B'Elanna's voice chirps in over a comm badge. B'Elanna. Taurus to Captain Janeway. What is it, Lieutenant? Captain, I've been stealing antimatter from the Vidiian shuttles, and I think we can get the warp engines online within the hour. Excellent. Good work, B'Elanna. Inform me the moment you have them online. Yes, Captain. Torres out. Janeway. Well, Chakotay, looks like we'll have a fully loaded and invisible starship available soon. That's good news. Janeway. But now we have a new problem. We need more people. As if on cue, Harry Kim's voice interrupts. Kim to Captain Janeway. What is it, Ensign? Captain, I want to show you something I've been working on. I just didn't think I'd ever get a chance to try it until now. I'll join you on the bridge. Thank you, Captain. Janeway looks at Tuvok and Chakotay. Dismissed. Chakotay heads for the passageway and transporter room 3. Later, in Janeway's quarters. Neelix, please sit down. Janeway had poured Neelix a cup of coffee and relaxed in her private quarters. Neelix. Am I in trouble, Captain? Janeway. No, of course not. But I have something to discuss with you. And it's extremely personal. Neelix. I see. Anything you want to talk to me about is fine, Captain. Janeway reaches for her forehead and strokes it lightly. Are you all right, Captain? Yes, I'm just trying to figure out how to approach this. This is a new area for me. Neelix. Perhaps something stronger than coffee might help. Janeway laughs. Yes, you may be right. Janeway gazes out to the stars. Neelix, I don't want to pull any skeletons out of the closet, but I want to talk about Talax and the 300,000 that were lost, that Detrell tried to recombine. Neelix. You're right, Captain. That is a sensitive subject. Janeway. We want to try again. Neelix jumps in his seat. What do you mean? Janeway. I asked Harry to look at some things, to see if there might be a way to augment our systems to allow for a mass reintegration. Neelix. And what did he find? It's still not possible. The variances are just too great, but there may be an alternative option. Neelix. This I have to hear. Janeway stands up, walks over to the bay window and peers out, but not really seeing the stars. He thinks that if we were to use Talaxian DNA to form a focal point, we could rematerialize a person based on their genetic code. Neelix. But how can we get the DNA of the victims? Isn't it scattered all over the area? Janeway. Yes, but if we were to use your DNA, or the DNA of another Talaxian, who is genetically related to the victims, we may be able to reintegrate the biomatter into a living person. Neelix stuttered a little. Would it be like a clone? No, it would be one of the victims. The DNA is the glue, and according to Harry's preliminary test, he thinks there is enough biomatter to reintegrate about 200 of your people. Neelix, just 200? Janeway, I know that doesn't seem like a lot when you consider you lost more than 300,000. I want to do it. You can have as much of my DNA as you want. Janeway, if we are successful, do you think these Talaxians would help us fight the Vidiians? Neelix, I think so, as long as they can remember what happened. Realization hammered home to Neelix like a smack upside the head. Janeway wasn't only delivering justice, she was looking for crewmen. Neelix, Captain, are you planning on manning the Targu with Talaxians? Janeway, I know it sounds bad, Neelix. Janeway trails off, looking down. Neelix, oh no it doesn't. Look at it from my perspective. Here I am, dead, then a passerby brings me back to life and offers me passage on a ship to seek revenge. Janeway, we're not after revenge. We want justice done. We're not bloodthirsty pirates. But in order to stop the Vidiians, we have to render them powerless. Neelix, well, you might find some of the Talaxians have become rather pirate-like after being murdered. Janeway, I can imagine so. That's why I need your help to settle them in. On the bridge. Helm to Harry Kim. We have arrived at the coordinates. Acknowledged. Kim to the captain. We are ready to begin. Kim's voice rang over Janeway's comm badge. She leans over to Tuvok. You have the bridge. I'll be in transporter room 1. Aye, Captain. Soon Janeway arrives. She finds Neelix and Harry standing at the controls. B'Elanna is standing on the other side, examining the system. B'Elanna, auxiliary pattern buffer is functioning within normal parameters. Kim, well, let's see if this works. Harry mans the controls. Energizing. On the transporter pad, the air shimmers and begins to take shape. I've got a lock. It's a Talaxian male. Initiating auxiliary buffer. Neelix takes a step forward, his hands clenching. The sound of the transporter reaches a higher tone. Then suddenly, the light fades and a Talaxian man is standing there, wearing a Starfleet uniform. He looks at the people standing before him and stares at Neelix. Do I know you? Neelix approaches. I am Neelix. Do you know who you are? Jurat. My mind is a little foggy. I can remember a battle, but I am seeing it from different points of view. My name is Jurat, but it is also Kalen. Janeway. Janeway steps forward. I am Captain Catherine Janeway, and you are on the Federation starship Voyager. We have reintegrated your body using transporter technology. You are one of the victims of the cascade. Kim. Captain, it looks like there is more than one DNA pattern here. It seems that our Talaxian person here is a combination of several Talaxian males. Neelix. Jurat is my cousin. I don't know who Kalen is. Janeway. Harry, is this what is going to happen every time we do this? Kim. I don't know. I knew this was a possibility. Janeway. Well, for what it's worth, Jurat, Kalen, you're alive. You survived. How do you feel? Physically. Jurat. My body feels fine. It's my head that is spinning inside. Janeway. We would like to run some tests when you are ready, to make sure you are all right. Jurat looks over at Neelix. Neelix. They're nice people. Jurat. Then I'm fine with it, I guess. Neelix. Come, I'll introduce you to the doctor. Later in sickbay. Doctor. There are traces of 52 DNA strands in his genetic structure. The doctor continued to scan the data on the computer screen, his chin in his hand. Jurat. Are you saying that I'm a composite of 52 dead Talaxians? Doctor. As Jatrell pointed out before he died, the biomatter has been held in suspended animation since the cascade. And yes, you are a composite life form. But I assure you that you are 100% Talaxian. Neelix. So every time we try to bring back just one Talaxian, we will be bringing back a person who is a combination of several people. Doctor. How do you feel about that? After all, It is your people who were destroyed. You may be a composite Talaxian, but I assure you, you are a perfectly healthy individual. I see no signs of disease, either physically or mentally as Talaxians go. Gerard. I suppose I am grateful. It seems, however, that although I understand how to communicate and move around, and I definitely remember certain skills I possess, the memories of the people I am are very faint. Mostly just faces and places. Doctor. Given time, you may remember more events more clearly. It may take time for your mind to deal with the integration. Gerard. One thing I want to know is, why am I wearing the same uniform as the crew of the ship instead of Talaxian clothing? Doctor. I believe Harry Kim did not want to reintegrate any non-biomatter, so he made sure that a uniform was replicated the moment you materialized. Are you uncomfortable? No, it's fine. I was just curious. Doctor. Perhaps Neelix could find you some more customary clothes. Gerard. I'm quite all right with the clothes. It's a perfect fit. Doctor. Well, it's up to you. So then, if there are no more questions, I have another patient waiting for me. Neelix. Thank you, Doctor. I'll take him to the mess hall. Gerard takes Neelix by the shoulder. Gerard. Thank you, Neelix. And tell me, how did you end up on Voyager? Were you reintegrated as well? No, actually, they used my DNA to gather yours. I didn't think it would work, but here you are, and it's very good to see you. It's good to be here, I think. Suddenly, Gerard places his hand on his abdomen. Oh my, I am very, very hungry. Well, it's been a few years since you've eaten anything. They enter a turbo lift. Neelix, Deck 2. Gerard, I'm going to need your help. We are going to try to reintegrate as many Talaxians as we can, as many as 200 of our kind. Gerard, ask anything. Neelix, we need to help them as they materialize, like I'm doing right now with you. Gerard, I'll be glad to. So can I take them to this mess hall we are going to? Absolutely. In fact, I'm a cook here as well. Really? Can you make Hindo Grill? Neelix, the best in this sector, but I also have some Leola root stew to go along with it. Back in the transporter room, Janeway. Harry, is there any way to minimize the DNA dispersion and materialize an individual who is not a combination of so many people? Kim. Maybe I could narrow the confinement beam. That might help weed out some of the stray biomatter. Janeway. Do what you can. How long will it take? Kim. Just a few hours. Janeway. Good. I'd like to try a multiple beam out this time. How many can the computer handle? Kim. With the added telemetry, I'd say only 5 people. Just like a normal beam out. Janeway. That's still very good. Well done, Harry. Call me and Neelix back here when you are ready. Meanwhile, in the corridor, Neelix. Tell me, Gerard, do you have any knowledge of starship systems? The captain is hoping that you are willing to help us with our lack of people to man the new fleet. Neelix continues strolling with Gerard down a corridor, pointing out important areas. Gerard, we have a fleet? Neelix, a small fleet. We've captured some Vidiian vessels. Gerard, from my collective memories, I do have a wider range of computer and mechanical systems than I had before, if that makes sense. Neelix, well, if you do, then you may know more about space travel than I do. The captain was good enough to take my little ship into the docking bay, but it's a far cry from the technology on Voyager. Gerard, Neelix, I am extremely interested in learning ship systems. Neelix, I'll ask the captain if we can spend some time down in engineering. The things they do down there are amazing, and the crew is extremely helpful. But try not to annoy B'Elanna. She can get a little touchy around the warp core.